Hey, welcome to 12 Tone. A while back we did a video about why you should study music theory even if you don't actually make music. But there's another group of people that I think are too often hesitant to learn theory, self-taught musicians. There's often a concern that learning the official rules of music will somehow interfere with your personal style, and I'd like to talk about why I don't think that's true. First off though, let me say that I totally understand the fear. Making music, or really making any kind of art, is a deeply personal experience. You're expressing yourself, and it's natural to be protective of that expression. You want your songs to be your voice, and learning theory can feel like giving that voice away, like you're letting other people tell you what you can and can't say. Viewed like that, it's no wonder so many people are afraid of theory, but really that's not what theory does. That's not the point. The point is to give you tools. I like to think of theory as filling the gaps between inspirations. I'll often start composing by ear, making music spontaneously and instinctively, but then I'll hit a wall. I'll find a place where the chord I wrote doesn't sound the way I want it to, or the melody isn't working, or the rhythm feels off, and that's where my theory knowledge comes in. If a chord doesn't land, I know which ones will. If a melody needs fixing, I know how to do that. I don't start from theory and build a song out of formulas. Okay, sometimes, but normally I make art the same way you probably do, just when I hit a roadblock, theory helps me find a way around it. There's also a concern that learning theory makes it harder to find new innovations, that learning the rules traps you inside the box, which again doesn't match my experience at all. If anything, learning theory helps you innovate because you already know what lines haven't been crossed yet. An old teacher of mine once said, "Have you ever noticed how people who are worried learning theory will ruin their style always write songs that sound like Theory 1 exercises?" And honestly, I think there's some truth to that. It's hard to find unexplored areas when you don't have a map of where we've already been. You just keep walking up the same mountains as everyone else. Not that you can't find new things without training, of course, but the conventions exist for a reason. They work. They sound good. If you're just messing around by ear, they're probably the first things you're gonna find. For instance, this progression shows up everywhere in pop music. Any serious theorist can probably recognize it instinctively and can tell you exactly what it is and why it works, but if you don't already know about it, it's incredible. It's smooth, it's beautiful, and it's built off fairly simple chords, so it's really easy to find. And that's not to insult anyone who uses it either. Heck, I've done it. There's nothing wrong with using the tools you've got, even if other people have too, but if you want to do something new, it helps to already know that this isn't the progression you're looking for. And it's not just the simple stuff either. Music theorists have been at this for centuries. We've found a lot of things. I'd never say we were done exploring or that we'd found all that there was to be found, but by this point I can pretty confidently say that we've got all the easy stuff. The areas that are left to discover are mostly areas that require dedicated, focused exploration, and you don't get that without first learning the lay of the land. So will music theory change the way you write? Absolutely. Of course it will. When I started writing, I barely knew what a chord was. Learning theory will make your work more complex, more layered, and more balanced. It'll make it more innovative, more thought-provoking, and more compelling. You'll find new techniques and sounds that you love, and you'll find ones that you hate too, things you'd never use in a million years. So yes, music theory will change the way you write, but it won't change it unless you want it to. You can still do all the things you're doing now, you'll just know how to describe them, how to accentuate them, and if necessary, how to fix them. You can still break the rules. I do it all the time. The only difference is, I do it on purpose. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to help make these videos possible, please consider supporting 12 Tone on Patreon. You can also join our mailing list for scans of all our episodes. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and keep on rockin'.